The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Good afternoon from the CWS. This is Jay Foreman and Strickland. Austin on the ones and twos up here, making us look good and sound good. This is Old School, brought to you the Hall of Fame way. Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman again. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock in the great city of Lincoln. But right now we're up here in Omaha, right across from all the action of the CWS. We are at the Blur Tailgate at the Hilton of Omaha. We're here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Obviously, we're starting here about 4:15, 4:30. And the doors are open, or you can get in all the way until midnight. So it's an all-night party. It's on the corner of 12th and Cass. Don't miss it. Blur parties will be going everywhere. 18 TV showing live baseball games and sports. There's multiple seating options and a hammock, Eric.
Yeah,
they have options to get in from $69, $99, and $119. We just finished watching the Tennessee Volunteers, a.k.a. the Peyton Manning University, come back like Return of the Jedi against the Stanford Cardinals, the John Elway, a.k.a. Chris Raffs of the world, and sending Stanford home. One thing that's interesting, Stanford has been here 3 years in a row. So you got to think for those seniors that are going out or those juniors that are true juniors, this is all they know, but they don't know any success. And here's Tennessee, who was the most dominant team last year, right? And sometimes the most dominant team don't make it. They're here on an elimination game, showed some cojones, a.k.a. Sammy Cassell, right?
Yeah.
And came back after being down 4-0. Talk about that, Strick, from your baseball background. They start the first inning down 2-0. Don't get anything going, Tennessee I'm talking about. Couple more innings, give up 2 more runs. Right now you could get some guys if you really don't have that culture or that swag, right, in which Tennessee changed a little bit, not so much in your face, keep it internal. But if it isn't real, you start thinking about, you know what, once I get back to the hotel, all right, I got to pack my bag and all that. Well, they say, hold up, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Omaha seems kind of nice. We might want an Omaha steak, come over here to a Blur party. Stanford Cardinals, you guys like summer school and school, send them back. Talk about what it takes to come back like that when you're in an elimination game, because one inning, one bad decision could send you home. But Tennessee said, not so fast.
Well, especially when you're looking at you have an error, you have you're hitting the ball, but you're not getting the runs that you would hope to bring across as far as the home plate. But at the end of the day, you just stay engaged. You stay in the moment. you take your bats and just make sure they're giving you what you're not chasing, not hunting,
Right.
but you make sure they give you something that you can drive, you can hit, you get the pitcher behind a little bit. Those are some of the things that you want to do, and that's what happened in the top of the fifth.
Right.
You have them get on there, start working around the bases. You start off with a little fly. Inslee hits a little fly out and drives in a run. Didn't ends up scoring, and then all of a sudden, you start seeing a compound.
Right.
Guys continuing to just fight, get on base, move around, do what you need to do. If you need to sacrifice something, you're willing to make that move, and then all of a sudden, you can find a rally that kicks off that puts you back into the game.
Talk about that, Strick. It's kind of like in basketball and also in football. They say, hey, sacks and interceptions come in bunches. You see, one of your teammates hit threes or make some plays, the energy starts going. Talk about how for Tennessee, once they saw one thing kind of go their way, but they forced the action, right? They got the one hit, start getting the confidence. Then it just seemed like it went through the whole dugout, 4 runs. Then when you tie the game up, and people don't understand how big momentum plays. Yeah. You can see it in basketball. You feel it in football, but in baseball, you do it in both, right? I think you see it and you feel it in baseball. Talk about that from your experience being in the dugout and as a professional athlete about when that rally starts going, and even though you just don't go 8-4, those 4 runs are equivalent to being up, and then you close the game out, and then that just leaves you for an avalanche as long as you don't get in your own way to close the game out. Talk about that, because it's huge, and especially because the College World Series is equivalent to the Final Four or getting to the championship game.
Well, the little things that you don't see is the communication that goes on from one batter to the next.
Right.
As you're watching pitchers, as you're listening to where his pitch locations are, and you're getting an understanding as to what he's throwing you, and then what's the velocity. And then you're stepping up and you're on the batter, you're on deck, and you're watching the timing. Right. All of those little details are important when you're trying to start a rally. But the communication as you come off, where was that?
Right.
What did you see?
Now, does that pick up as the game gets tighter, or when you're like, hey, we have got to do something? Or is it that leadership or that intrinsic true swag and knowing we have a great program? Because Tennessee has built their program up by believing in themselves and developing their players. They got a lot of guys that got drafted. But talk about that. Who starts that? Is that the coach or the captain, or sometimes your catcher? They have to be your vocal leader out there. Or is it just somebody who said, you know what, I ain't going home. This is what I'm seeing. Go get a hit.
Sometimes it's that guy that leads off the inning. Sometimes it's the guy that's second that gives you just a little nod. Yo, man, good at bat. Little something to encourage you. And he stands up behind everybody and he says, "Look, let's go, let's turn it up." Just a little something just to kind of get a little spark off the bench where everybody kind of gets more into the game a little bit more active, a little bit more focused. And so when you step up and you have a really good at bat, either you're fighting it off, or you're making him throw more pitches than maybe he wanted to get you out. And then you maybe come through on a 1-2 count. You come through on a 3-2 count.
Right.
Where then you put the ball in play. Then all of a sudden people's like, yeah, okay, here we go. Then the next person does something. And then it just starts, as you said, that snowball effect.
Go ahead, Austin.
That was offensively, but another guy we have to credit is Chase Burns.
Right. I was just about to get to that right here.
With Dolander, he went only 3 innings. He's your ace. He's a top 10 pick. 3 innings, 4 runs, all of them earned. He's not looking great. He didn't have it today. So you need Chase Burns to come in and do what he did.
Shut it down.
Slam the door.
2
6 innings, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. That's picking your guy up.
Right.
He's been there for you all season long.
Right.
But you needed the guy behind him and Burns to pick him up to give them a chance to stay in the game.
That's good. That's real good.
You know what it is when you're a coach, and we saw it a couple games before. Look, we rode here with you. We going down with you. And that infuses confidence in there. And one thing when you look at Tennessee,
you can tell he wanted it too,
right?
Because he had that look. You know, right? He had that eye of the tiger look.
I always talk about athletes.
Command of his stuff.
When you see an athlete that wants to be in the moment, it isn't going to blink. You see it. One thing also I want to talk about. We'll go back to the offense of Tennessee. You look at the stats; they were pretty consistent in everybody hit. Right?
Yeah.
3-hole guy had 3, so that gives you confidence. Even though your four guy that's supposed to be your power hitter, he goes 1 for 4, and that's normal. But then deep in the lineup. You got 1 hit, 2, and then your catcher gets 1 as well. And then also I like
a run.
Right. And here's what also I like though, Strick. I'm not I'm not
only hitting 182.
Right.
So that's part of that
That's
rally
like almost
concept.
2 hits.
Right.
But then also I like where Tennessee went up there. They had 10 strikeouts. They weren't sitting there looking.
No.
We going down swinging.
Yeah.
Eventually we're going to get some hits. And so I think it was a big, culture win for Tennessee. Tennessee, I think, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way last year.
Yeah.
Because they were so good and so brash. It's almost like everybody wanted it was turned against them. Now what they did was one thing that if you go back and research them, or after the season, they wore it, right? They say, listen, we didn't finish the mission. We lost some great players, but guess what? We're still gonna come back. And they kind of came in under the radar. Their first game, backs against the wall, and a lot more pressure than I think a lot of other teams, because it could be like, we're gonna double down on you from last year. See, you didn't make it last year, you made it this year. If you weren't so cocky last year, now look at you. Now look at them. They're signing autographs. They're at least to have their head above water, like I like to say, for one more game, and you just never know, because they have a legitimate chance to coming out the back end and winning. And if you can go, I feel like, and I want your guys' two opinions. Sometimes in baseball or in these tournaments, and you've played a lot of club baseball and stuff like that, this is what this kind of is you might be the best team and you might lose in the first, pool play, but if you catch a good rhythm or a big win, a comeback win, next thing you know, you blow through everybody coming in the back door. Everybody like, well, how'd they lose the first game? And I think this might be, a leaping stick for Tennessee moving forward. What do you guys think?
Well, just like a sailor that gets on the ocean,
right?
They're riding the wind,
yep.
Right? They're following where the wind is going. They're not necessarily going on their own. So, in essence, if you got good hitting, the pitchers also have to catch the wind.
Right.
They have to understand what they need to do. They have to have a good tempo. They have to get on and off. They can't throw a lot of balls. They need to allow the balls to be put in play so that their players can make plays.
Right.
So that's an important
It is a team concept,
Yeah.
even though you're out there. It seems like when you're on the pitching mound, you're out there. What do you think, Austin?
It seems so lonely on the pitcher's mound sometimes, where the spotlight's on
Right.
you. But that's where trust your guys. Let them put the ball in play. You don't have to do it all yourself.
Right.
I think with baseball, what's tough and what's neat at the same time is, like you said, when you get that win and you can parlay it into something more,
the pressure.
Their next day off, I guess, will be tomorrow. But you're
Right.
playing pretty much every other day. That's
Right.
rhythm. That's timing. As much
Right.
as basketball
Yeah.
is about rhythm and timing on offense, disrupting it on defense, that's all baseball is. Can you time your swing up? Do you time your delivery to throw your pitches on time, on target?
Right.
Being able to stay in rhythm by playing consistently goes such a long way. But that means your offense has to stay in rhythm, your pitching has to stay in rhythm, and there's going to be a big moment in every
Right.
game. Sometimes, like here, it was the 4th or 5th inning.
Right.
Sometimes it's the 9th inning, like we
Right.
saw the first couple days.
Let me ask you guys
Stay
this
ready.
Real quick. There's nothing worse. Being a player, there's two things that I hate. I hated off days, one.
Right.
Where you have to sit in the dugout,
Right.
eat sunflower seeds.
Right. Just be
And
bored.
it seemed like it was the longest day ever when you take
Right.
it off day.
Right.
Second, there's nothing worse than being in the field on a hot, muggy day
Oh.
in the middle of the sun when your pitcher is struggling,
Right.
where he can't find the zone.
Right.
1 minute feels like 10.
Oh,
It's the worst.
there's nothing worse. And so when you're talking about a long run, you're talking about a 4-run
Inning.
rally.
Yeah.
That can
That's it.
accumulate on the psyche
Right.
of those that are in the field.
See,
So you come frustrated back to the dugout, and sometimes you end up with bad hitting.
Right.
So that's you start chasing, or
Yep.
you start trying
You
to get
kind
on
of
it
start
to
to play too fast. And,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about this as well. I think a sneaky factor is the heat. Now, I think today, at this point in time, I think this heat and the humidity and the intensity of the heat is way worse than it had been before. I want to ask in your opinion, do you think it affected Stanford later in the game after that rally and Tennessee caught their second win faster? I think it jumped on Tennessee early, and people don't realize the heat does play a factor.
It does.
Because sometimes you get so hot, you like, I'm just going to go up there and swing instead of I'm going to stay in the
Yes.
moment. And then if you kind of get that reprieve of, okay, we got a run, we seen something go our way, we got out of an inning, we seen them make a mistake, all of a sudden you're not so hot. Then you score 4 runs. Then guess who gets hot? Stanford.
Yeah.
Do you think that played a little bit of a factor? Because this 1 o'clock game is way more hotter than it had been before. What do you guys think?
I think it can.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say in this instance that it does, but you can look
Right.
and kind of look at the stats and kind of see.
Right. I'm looking at the hits start to go down. I'm
You can
looking
look
at Tennessee start to crank it up a little bit. Maybe they're more used to the elements. You know, it's not a big factor like in, say, football.
But Stanford's
But
definitely a lot cooler.
right, Northern California,
Cali.
right, at this point in time, this intensity of a heat, this type of pressure, and talk about this, Strick, and we'll talk about some other stuff about like golf and stuff like that, you know, in the other segments, that when you start looking at the finish line, and, you know, I always call it watching the clock in basketball. Oh, we're up by 20, we'll give up a 3. Oh, we're up by 12, they can't come back. Next thing you know, you in a barn burner, and you haven't really been active playing baseball in this situation.
Turn off your rhythm.
Right.
I got an example for you.
Go ahead.
The 72-10 Chicago Bulls come down to Reunion Arena, and they're beating us. I think they may be up 17,
Yeah.
72, about 17, middle of the third. Start sitting Pippen,
Yeah.
start sitting Jordan. It wasn't over.
Right.
We start to rally.
Yep.
By the time you get into the fourth, 10
You-
minutes left, 9 minutes. Now you're trying to re-enter them back in.
Yeah.
Because now we're under double digits.
Right.
Wait, now Mike, let's go. Pip, let's go. Let's
Your
get
mind
these
ain't
guys
even
back.
there. Right.
And now they've got to recycle
Right.
and get re-energized after they kind of thought,
It was over.
there you go.
And I think what you saw that with Stanford, where you jump out 4-0, you could be like, oh, Tennessee doesn't want to play. Tennessee, to be honest with you, when their ace, the top 10 pick, looks lethargic, that's almost the equivalent of pretty much cutting the head off the snake, right? So you get through the first 3 innings with him, you're like, oh, this is going to be easy peasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then somehow, some way, life gets pumped back into him, and nothing changes for Stanford, and they're stuck in the mud. I think they were looking at the finish line way too early in that 4th inning. You go through 4 innings, you're up 4. You're like, hey, listen, as long as we get through the 6th inning and just hold it down, we're good.
Yeah.
Well, they forgot that 5th inning was before the 6th, and I think that's where they lost it, and they never seemed to recover.
So you talk about Burns, right? Burns comes into the game. This is that rhythm we talking about.
Right.
No walks, 9 Ks, and 73 total pitches.
Right.
That's rhythm. That means you're on and off that ball.
And
There's
50
nothing greater.
50 strikes out of 73 pitches.
There you
That
go.
means that means it's like, hey, I'm not throwing you any pitches that you need to chase. I'm coming right at you.
Right at you.
And I'm standing right here, and you're going to take it. And that's what I think. When you people always don't really realize how important pitching is, right? And that's when we talk about
Sets
Wake
the
Forest,
tone.
and you can bomb away during the regular season. You get 2 or 3 pitchers on your staff with every other day and get some depth, or get extending innings by your middle relief.
Come on.
That's where you can really, make some hay, or we like to say cooking with peanut oil. It's going to be interesting to see how this next day and a half goes for the teams that are on elimination or the teams that are 2-0. Do they relax, or do you drop the hammer? Does it change the way you change your rotation? Because when you're a little bit ahead of schedule, do you say, hey, look, we're going to keep doing what we're doing to get here, or do we kind of adjust on the run?
Winning early is important,
right?
Because it allows that pitching part of your staff
to change,
to get rest,
right,
to get rejuvenated and get some time. So even now, okay, they had a bad outing from Dolan.
Yeah, but you got him.
But you've got him to be able to recycle his mind,
right,
have a good sit down with him as a coach, tell him, baby, it's okay.
Right.
Look, our guy held us up. It's okay. We got
flip
the
now. He could be the relief. He could be the middle relief. He might not start next game because it's only a day off, but he could be like, hey man, that was just your bullpen session. A little rough. Okay, now you're ready to go. So I mean, these guys know that they are capable. It's all hands on deck when you're trying to win this College World Series championship, and you don't want to look back. You don't want to have to question yourself as a coach. Oh, I should have pitched Strick. I should have pitched Austin here. Austin told me, he's never let me down, but he had another inning, but I took him out. And then next thing you know, you're replaying. You don't want to have that pain of regret. I always talk about Nick Saban talking about the pain of discipline is worth the hard work that it takes there, and the decision making is worth the not having the pain of regret. And you don't want to have any regret leaving Omaha when you have a chance to either go through the back end or go blow through the top of it, which is the winning side of the bracket.
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Stanford. You know,
Right.
From top to bottom, they're a very good hitting team. This
Right.
is why you're kind of surprised
Right.
that it went the other way around, where Tennessee ends up with 13 hits, where Stanford only ends up with 6.
They didn't
6.
pick their guy up, right?
You know
Where
what I mean?
Tennessee picked their guy up. Quinn Matthews threw like 150-some pitches.
Right.
One of his last times out. He gives up 4 runs in that one inning there that are charged to him, and they weren't able to pick him up.
Yeah.
And
They didn't get anything going, whereas Tennessee sounds like, hey, we're going to dig deep, support our guy. Stanford
Right.
had to take their guy out in the middle of an inning. They survived that, but then the rest of the bullpen didn't come through. That's what we see in these situations, to your point, Jay. It's about the pitching.
Right.
Whoever has more and whoever comes through in those high leverage moments,
Yeah.
because the pitching sets up the hitting.
Right.
Getting out of a big situation like that, crawling back in a game, is set up by pitching, and then it's on the offense to follow through.
You know, a big thing, about Stanford before we go to break, it's kind of like, water under the bridge. They got here by a walk-off Texas fielder lost the ball in the lights, right? So now, did the clock strike 12 for Cinderella? Did you really earn it? Were you really kind of playing on a razor's edge to get here? Now, granted, you're a well-established program, but, did you really get on that plane coming to Omaha thinking that we beat Texas, or did we get lucky, right? And clock struck 12 right now. So, hey, look, that's a good first segment. We're going to go to break right here. Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We're going to talk a little bit about Bradley Beal, how fast that changed over the weekend, especially after Father's Day. Chris Paul and Isaiah Thomas, shots fired over the bow. We got a lot to cover before game number 2 tonight. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street, or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carry out, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Save money on energy-efficient equipment with the LES Sustainable Energy Program. Nearly half of the financial incentives are still available for qualifying projects. View incentives and learn more at les.com/SEP.
Summertime is in full swing, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway. Deck City, your local deck experts.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon wrap dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon wrap dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between. Capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-9462.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old School is back up here at CWS, Blur tailgate parties, having a good time. Obviously, I think Strick, the clientele, Wake Forest, a little bit sophisticated. They got, I think it's their day off. They're very sophisticated.
Yeah, they're playing tonight.
Oh, they're playing tonight.
They're
Very
LSU tonight.
Very sophisticated. It's a difference. Wake Forest is very sophisticated, tight, dressed up, real. Everything's tied up. Shirts are ironed. LSU is here to have a good time. They are very comfortable in.
They got necklaces,
right?
On,
they are
glasses,
very right, and they double fisting everything, food and drink. They are very comfortable in Omaha. But short segment here. Big news today was Chris Paul most likely, or not Chris Paul, but Bradley Beal most likely.
Wake Forest is Chris Paul.
Wake Forest is Chris Paul. Was notified via his son that he is no longer going to be on the Phoenix Suns. No joke. And Bradley Beal is going to the Phoenix Suns to team up with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton, which the biggest part of the deal was they didn't have to give up DeAndre Ayton. So it lets you know.
Didn't they want to, though?
Well, last year, no, that was Monty Williams. But now he gets a new release on life with Frank Vogel that will utilize him more. But then number two is this, that you have four guys. You did James Jones as the GM of the Phoenix Suns is playing chess, and everybody seems to be playing checkers. And he was trained under, guess who else? Pat Riley. Mm-hmm. And so it's a huge move, and it puts Chris Paul in limbo. You know what's funny is when you look back of the potential free agency of Chris Paul, remember he had the deal to go to the Lakers. David Stern stepped in and said that would be too much. Nix that, use his one-time authority. It took him an extra year to get out of New Orleans. Went to, obviously, Chip City, just never could get over the hump. Everywhere he's been, even in Houston, 3-1 lead. Untimely, weird injuries that just keep him out. And I want to ask you this.
Always in the playoffs, too.
Always in the biggest moment. Yeah. Very, very, very tender. I want to ask you this, Strick.
We ain't talking about the website.
I want to ask you this, Strick. As you see, big man Wilkin here getting in his game right. That calf is extra right. You're right. It looked like he got that thing on the grill. But let me ask you this, Strick. If you're a GM and say you're the Clippers.
Yeah.
And it comes down to re-signing Westbrook or Chris Paul, which one do you choose and why? We'll go Clippers, then Lakers. And Austin, you get to do the Lakers.
My issue is that I think old Westbrook would have been better. I think that Chris Paul's ability to control and distribute, understanding tempo and time, understanding situations, and you must respect him.
Right. Because he got hell of 5 mid-range.
Yeah,
he's still 19, 20 points, 10 assists.
Yeah.
So you go with Chris Paul.
You got that. I like that. I think if I'm going to go that route, I'm going to not bank, but I'm going to take the risk. If I was a gambling
Right.
man, and
The juice is worth the squeeze.
I would much rather take
Because
the
it's
risk
only
on
a year or two anyways with Kawhi and Paul George. What do you think, Austin? If you're the Lakers.
If I'm the Lakers, I've already seen what Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
looks
he's
like,
not
so
going
it's
to do
hard
it. But
understand
the
there.
question is, do you pursue Chris Paul?
To me, it comes down to either Chris Paul or Draymond Green. Maybe
Yeah,
those
one of
guys
the
would
two.
both take a discount to play there. I don't think both of them would. I don't know
Especially
what
not Draymond.
I don't know what Draymond looks like outside of the context of the Warriors. We've seen Chris
Yeah.
Paul bounce around, but is Draymond's defensive IQ, his high post playmaking, his ball
Point
handling?
forward, take the pressure off
Yeah.
LeBron, control the break. And really, here's a question to you two. Don't mean to cut you off, Austin. Does Draymond realistically still leave Golden State? Because Golden State can re-sign him. This is just putting the pressure back to Golden State. If you really want me here, give me that cashola. What do you think?
I think it was a smart move on Draymond Green.
Oh, for sure.
The only reason is because there's a little bit of uncertainty, kind of a little bit of schism right now. Here's why I say that. They tried to maintain some continuity by hiring on Mike Dunleavy Jr. because he was up
Under Myers. Right.
under Myers. So they tried to maintain, not go outside.
Right.
So somebody that has a great understanding. Also, somebody that has a relative relationship in this arena.
Right.
Draymond, in that instance, puts pressure on Mike Dunleavy.
Right off the get-go.
Right off the get-go.
First day on the job.
So he's going to ask for a lot.
Right.
It's going to set a bar for him, which then he can use to
Or do
parlay.
they somewhere else. How much
So I
do you
think
really?
it's a smart move on Draymond.
Yeah, great business move.
He's not getting $28 million from anyone
No.
else. He opted out at $27.5 million. But what he can do is set the terms.
Yeah.
Even at less money, he can do it his way. That's
Right.
one thing we know about Draymond. He likes doing things his way.
Right.
So this way, it's on him to control the narrative. And I think that goes a long way for Draymond, more so than the money.
Right. Do you see? I think if I'm Draymond, I'm coming back under stipulations that Poole is gone. I am
Who should
I
have been
think that's
packaged for
gotta-
Beal if you're the Warriors?
I think you should have. You had to have like if you're going to take on that kind of money, I think equivocated by getting rid of at least a large portion of it, and Poole being that.
Yeah. Well,
the
the reason
problem is they're stuck in a quagmire of needing to go young, but still wanting to maintain some level of what they have. So they've got a decision: Draymond, Klay Thompson,
and Poole.
those three. are
Because
part of the
I
decision.
think they're all tied together. Because also you got to think Steve Kerr later in his coaching career, how much more headache does he want from a non-Hall of Fame type of player like Poole? Is it worth it? I think if I'm Steve Kerr, it could give you a new lease on your coaching career, more like energy. If I say, okay, we're going to get rid of Poole, we're going to kind of go 2 more years with the so-called big three. We still got Wiggins, we got Kuminga. If I'm Steve Kerr, I feel like the way we develop players, we can find another Poole or 2 guys that can replace Poole versus dealing with the locker room cancer and then setting back our organization for some time. The biggest thing is generally when a new GM comes in, even if it's promoted within, he immediately tries to make an example out of a star player and put his stamp on that team. Where is it with Mike Dunleavy? Does he say, okay, Draymond, go get you a deal and come back?
This is where I think it'll be fascinating to see how the Warriors think of Jordan Poole and Draymond Green, because everyone in the Warriors admits what Draymond is. They know who he is, what he's always been. But some of the stories that came out after the punching incident said things just kind of blew up. Like Jordan Poole has asked questions. He's been a hard worker behind the scenes. So, yeah, he's, athletically arrogant, but they seem to think he's at least a good kid.
Right.
So I wonder if it's less Jordan Poole's a problem and Jordan Poole and Draymond Green butt
Right.
heads. So I'm curious to see which one the Warriors are more willing to commit to.
Something I don't know how this situation was rectified, but when Jordan Poole kind of blew off
Draymond at the end of the season.
not Dre, him too,
And
but
Steph.
in the
and
locker
Steph.
room.
So that part,
Steph threw his hands up on him. And that's what I think Jordan Poole is a perfect example of somebody hits it big and he has the superior offensive skill. And as they like to say, a lot of things, a lot of tools in his bag. But I think he lost his identity and he forgot that when he looked in the mirror and got paid, you were a 6.5 and you played like an 8. Now you think you just as good as Steph Curry. Remember the whole free throw thing? He wanted to make it. He was forcing up shots because he knew how many free throws he needed to beat Steph and being the best free throw shooter in the league. Those type of petty things that you do to one of the best players of all time, and quite frankly, probably the best three-point shooter of all time, an iconic figure in the Warriors organization. That Steph is like this as a leader. He might bring it to you 1, 2, or 3 times. After when he's already made that kind of good faith effort, they know that there's no turning back. Just like what he had to tighten Draymond up after the thing with KD. He went and talked to Draymond about the thing with Poole, but he didn't go all the way in Poole's favor. That told you a lot about it. As the draft is coming, things are going to get to start to moving. We got Bradley Beal going. Damian Lillard, what are you going to do? Kyrie, what are you going to do? Right? I still think one of the Celtics guys are going to end up going somewhere because I think that has just probably hit its ceiling, or a Smart going. Somebody's going to be jettisoned out of there to get some spark and put people on notice. Good first.
I still think Golden State needs to make room for Kuminga.
I do too.
To thrive.
But you have to get the okay by one of those three. And Strick, well, I want to ask you in the first segment coming back, how hard is it that you've seen NBA players not move aside, but welcome somebody in there? You get what I mean? Because I know when I played in the NFL, some veterans, you've seen it down in Tennessee, they ain't going to help you, or not, they won't come to the realization that you're there. We're going to talk about that at the top of the hour. Jay Foreman, Strick, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Proud to be voted Best Vape Shop.
Generation V
Is thrilled to announce our newest location is now open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore with the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our extensive collection to help you find the perfect fit.
Generation V.
With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E6 contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over. Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big summer sales event is underway this month. Right now, get 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. 0.9% APR on select new Chevrolet and GMC vehicles, plus a $1,500 trade-in bonus on select Silverados and Sierras. You put all that together with some big couple discounts, and you have a tremendous buying experience. So stop on into the dealership or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is starting on July 8th. I joined Farrell's a little over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching in a way that is approachable and achievable for any skill level. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or 40th and Yankee Hill.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back, Old School, up here in CWS in Omaha. Blur. We got the Blur tailgate parties here at 12th and Cass, right next to the Omaha Hilton. You can come in here and see us every day.
What did Boosie say?
What?
I pulled up in the club, VIP.
VIP.
Put all drinks on.
I hear you. VIP, you could go.
All drink. Hey, we got the blue ticket. Come down and have a drink with Stricky and the fam. You know what I mean? Come on in. I got some tickets.
Strick is offering you guys to come. You got options to come in for $69, $99, $119. It's a great scene, great party.
Yeah,
Blur tailgates. Come down and check us out. And you got 18 TVs in here. You got mist. You got clean bathrooms. You got what is that over there? Cornhole. And plenty of people watching as well. But
couches?
Couches. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese. Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located in the great city of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, the food is good, too.
84th and Havelock. Plenty of options. Now we're back, and I was asked you at the end of the first hour, Strick, and I know we got a little bit of a funky schedule. I want to ask you, maybe give me some examples, but in your experience in the NBA, I know mine from the NFL is that where you see a young and upcoming legitimate player, might even been, in your case, coming in, not that you're taking their spot, but they might be on their way out, and the veteran not realizing you get more with honey than vinegar, right? Yeah. With the team, especially if you're on your way out. Father Time is undefeated. In your experience, how hard is that and how taxing can that be in the locker room? And just in this case, when it's a legitimate player coming, trying to not ease a veteran out, but just needs more time, like you said.
Well, I think you learn a lot, right? That mentor space was not Jason Kidd for me.
Right.
That mentor space.
He was drinking. He was hating.
So
you say it.
We didn't. We all.
So that's why you always be on light skinned brothers, then, huh? That's it. I hear you.
I'm just gonna tell you, like Derek
for the light skinned community, to you, We love you, man. I would never hate on you, man. I'd help you as much as possible, my brother.
But I had to resort to my DP lookalike.
Okay.
Derek Harper. Derek Harper came in, man, took me under his wing, showed me what it was not only to be a professional, showed me what was required while on court, doing court business, and how to operate off the court. So he really took me in. Now, I would say he was one of those guys where he knew we were not only playing together, but he was on his way, like you said, out.
Right.
So there were moments as a young player where he literally yells at me. I remember we're playing in Houston against, then it was Barkley, it was Drexler, I think, Pip, and still Olajuwon was still there. And it might have been, Drexler may have been gone, it might have been Pip, but I can't remember. But he yells at me as a veteran. He says, Strick, we effing need you to shoot the ball. And that tells you a lot as a young player, because you're just trying to get in and fit in and
stay out the way.
Right. But he's like, no, for us to win, we need you to score. Shoot the ball. So you have that. So as I get older, I have to take on that role, being a starter, being a sixth man, and now in my later years, up in Milwaukee, helping to speak life into Michael Redd.
Right.
Mo Williams. We knew Mo Williams was going to be the guy.
Mo Williams, right.
Mo Williams, speaking life into him. So that's part of what that transition is like, and it's probably the same in football.
Right, yeah, it is, and it's a little bit different because the shelf life of a football player, once you get a little bit over the hill, you don't get to have, you don't get to be like Udonis Haslem and be in there for another 6 or 7 years when you probably be at home. But you do see some guys fight the mentorship. I want to ask you, just in general, give me 2 or 3 potential trades or movements that you think is going to happen. Bradley Beal has happened. Do you think Damian Lillard actually gets up out of Portland, number one? And then where do you think, in your opinion, I guess it'd be 2 or 3 places, because we know Kyrie doesn't, he thinks the world's flat and all that other stuff. Where do you potentially think he could end up? Because I think with him, again, just like Westbrook or just like Chris Paul, whether it's availability, but his athletic ability and his he's a Hall of Fame player. Sometimes that 1 or 2 year project is worth it. Where do you think he ends up?
So for me, I look closely at Damian Lillard. Me and Austin talked about it on the block. I look at him to be one of the ones, and the one he's made it known as to where he would like to be, which is Miami.
Right.
Miami has the most resources to make it happen.
Yeah.
By way of sign and trade, you've got multiple guys.
And Tyler Hero, Robinson.
Tyler,
yeah.
I mean,
Duncan Robinson. Vincent.
Vincent potentially for a signing trade.
Or Caleb Martin.
You still got Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry. Right. You got a ton of. You could do Damian Lillard for about 8 guys. Take them all.
Well, it's not necessarily 8.
I'm just saying.
I think now that his contract, I think it could be 3 and maybe a draft pick, or it could be Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and maybe Kyle Lowry.
Right.
If you want to replace the point guard situation, where you're going to get some cap space and get younger. But obviously, you're going to probably want some draft pick. You're going to want some draft capital.
Right, yeah.
So I don't think they get rid of Hero. I don't think Miami does it.
Because I think they believe in him actually as a 2A, 2B more than Duncan Robinson.
Exactly.
Straight up, I think Dame fits Miami really well.
I
think he has that mindset. I mean, given how long he stuck it out in Portland, I think he'd fit into Heat culture really well.
Right.
I think that'd be, Strick, you and I were talking about it too, the different levels, right? Dame at the guard spot, Jimmy on the wing, and Bam as the big man. That's kind of the way. You need one at each level. And I think that would fit really well. Does that elevate Miami to hosting in the first round? I don't know. I would like to think it does. Dame's that good.
You don't think Miami could get in the top 4 seed with Damian Lillard?
I think they struggled to get to 8 this year. So I think Dame helps, but I think there would be an adjustment period at the start because Jimmy hasn't played with anyone like Dame. Like the only really close to Dame right now is Steph. Jimmy's never had that. So there'd be an adjustment period. I think they'd be a team that gets dangerous the further they go, the more they start gelling. But I like Dame for Miami more than I like Beal for Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because Phoenix has 4 guys under contract for $160 million now. Miami at least has some depth, some other pieces. Phoenix, this is all in as all in get.
And I think with Phoenix, to go back to your point, Austin.
Old and no depth.
KD looked slow in the playoffs. He looked out of shape and lethargic. But I also think that Booker and Beal are kind of the same player.
Similar. I think Book can distribute more. I think Book can runs more points.
He can, but they both would light your life up. So you know what I mean? They're drive and kick. Now, when you have both of them, listen, having them both on the court, I can do a lot of things as a coach. It's my job to make it work. But what I'm saying is, what Phoenix needed.
Well, let me ask you this.
Might not have been that.
Let me ask
as great as Bradley Beal is.
With his regression, he comes down from averaging 30 points a game to about 23 for the last few seasons.
Right?
Shooting 34% from three for the last
two
seasons.
So I'm not necessarily, but I want to ask you, do you think that Bradley Beal in that mode, in that structure, could get rejuvenated?
I do. I think he will be.
You think he kind of got rained off?
I think he got ran into the ground.
Yeah.
And overutilized. So he became a volume shooter, because you got to think, when he was with John Wall, even when he was Westbrook, he was one of the most efficient players in the league. Now they're gone, and now I know Kuzma started to kind of come on, and Porzingis is in and out of the lineup, but they're two different players. Now, I will say this, though. I think with him, with less pressure on him day in and day out, night in and night out, averaging between 17 and 21 points, he's a more effective of a player of being off the map in Washington without any playoff hopes. Now you know what they kind of remind me of is not exactly because of not the brute force of size, but Denver, where you have a Bradley Beal and just say KD and Booker are cooking for 3 games. Well, KD isn't somehow in foul trouble. Booker is off. We got a Hall of Famer, a legit straight-up killer over there, and Bradley Beal can hit 35 on you. Then he can go on a 2 or 3. So you got another closer, and that's what the NBA is becoming. How many closers can we have in the third and fourth quarter?
Let me throw this out to both of you. We talked about certain people. There's one person that I believe will be moved by the time, as DP said, the craziness of the summer league pops off. It's going to be
LeBron.
Everybody is sitting in there having
LeBron.
Conversations. I personally think it's going to be Zion Williamson. What say you? And what do you think the best fit for Zion Williamson would be? And where
Zion Williamson needs to go play. He needs to go play in, like, I wouldn't say Toronto, but there's too much action. He need to go to, like, the Pacers. But they say he's going to Portland in a 3-way trade. That's what they say. Portland is coming. I think Zion Williamson is a guy, when he plays, he's dang near unstoppable, being 200 and something. But when when you have a weight clause in your contract as a basketball player, the only person I ever saw that kind of ate themselves out of the league,
Oliver Miller?
I was going to say Oliver Miller, but then he became kind of that pick and pop, and he never was an inside force. Keith Tractor Trailer, rest in heaven. Sean Kemp did, but
what about Big Baby?
But Big Baby, yeah, he did. But Big Baby was never going to. Big Baby had his off the court issues before he got there.
I think Eddie Curry.
Eddie Curry did.
I think Eddie Curry.
I think the personal situation with Eddie Curry, how his wife at the time had got him stuck up and stole all his wife stuck him up for $8 million. I mean, I'd probably be overindulging eating too. I think with Zion Williamson, essentially like Ja, these two guys, and mind you, they played on the same AAU team.
Yep.
Both of them were supposed to be the face of the league. Zion Williamson, even though the shoe blew up at Duke, signed with Jordan. Ja's a Nike. They're supposed to be the
double redemption. You think go to Memphis and have a double redemption?
No,
like both of you together.
His agent needs to sit him down and say, you need to go to Portland and you need to earn the right to get to a big city, because what you're doing off the field, right, or off the court right now, is I'm trying to protect you from yourself. You have somebody that you played AAU with, Ja Morant, has cost himself. You know how much money Ja Morant has cost himself?
50 mil.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, 40 for being all pro for the max extension. Then you're another another million, and then the 8 games was another 3 or 4. So you're right, about $50 million that you can never recover.
And it's not stopping. So you're looking at another 20.
Right. And and
your salaries went up, so you're looking at a cool 70-something
Yeah.
million.
Yeah, and so what I want to really see. I always feel like the NBA there's going to be a domino. At draft night, DP says that at Summer League, where's the first one? Then it's kind of like NFL free agency. Guys, there's a ton of moves. It dies down, then there's someone. I want to ask you guys this too, and I was just thinking about this on the drive up here. Now that LeBron is kind of backed off wanting to play with Bronny, right? And let him do it as he should, and that's a family decision. He talked about it. They all sat down. He wants the best friend. I respect LeBron for that. And he sees the state of the Lakers. And he's looking over there. It's kind of like the one thing I respected about Kobe, where they talk about he was so selfish, because those guys were showing up 10 minutes before practice. I ain't going to pass to you. LeBron sees Anthony Davis, and he probably is thinking Austin Reeves can go get 30 extra million. Why would you stay with the Lakers, right? If you're LeBron and you're essentially playing for a championship, is it a possibility that you hold Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss and Kurt Rambis and all the neighbors, the gardener and everybody else they have making decisions, feet to the fire and get him up out of there?
Follow me on this.
I'm following you, Ghost Rider. But is the pattern full?
You throw out the retirement angle. The NBA makes an adjustment. Follow me now. The NBA makes an adjustment within their CBA structure to now where players can have ownership and still play.
Okay.
Some backdoor stuff.
And we're going back to Cleveland.
Do you follow suit on that, retire, pull a Michael Jordan, pull an ESPN, I'm out, sit out? You're probably a year and a half, 2 years away from expansion.
Right.
So now Vegas picks up, or one of the other locations. He's probably going to want to invest into the Vegas, goes into Vegas 2 years from now, signs his son, plays with his son, and comes back and tries to revamp.
I like that.
So he's resting his body.
Yep.
He ain't doing nothing. He's able to come back fully rejuvenated. He sees what's going on with the Lakers. He holds. I don't know.
I like that idea.
Throwing something out there.
This is where I think.
I don't mean to cut you off. No, go ahead, Austin.
So
go
this
ahead.
is where I think LeBron's in a fascinating spot, because there are people more of my generation that say he's the greatest of all time. People in your generation, no, it's Mike. He's got the ring, he's a bigger killer. And I understand both sides. The thing about LeBron is the only way that I think he can elevate his legacy right now is championships. It's not counting stats. He has those.
Right.
Is that what he wants, though? Because if he's just going to keep playing and piling up stats, that's not going to change anybody's mind.
Yeah.
So at this point, to me, if LeBron isn't playing basketball for championships, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because then I think it's going to tarnish his legacy in some people's minds. Oh, you held on too long. Oh, you weren't going for rings. What was the point? Where I get wanting to play with your son, I think it'd be really cool if he took that year off. And we saw him start that school in Akron, right? He's been there at the ground level for this stuff before. He's a businessman. He's savvy. He gets it. But then if he comes back and plays, it's, oh, you're just being like Michael. Oh, you'll never be like Michael.
But people are already saying right now, you're right. People are already right now saying that he's not even a top 5 Laker.
That's what you say.
No.
But see, if I'm LeBron, he hasn't been there. He doesn't have the longevity to be a top 5 Laker, though.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's what I'm saying is this, though. I could see LeBron trying to go to Cleveland. When he did the interview and talked about he liked where Cleveland's going, he repaired the relationship with Dan Gilbert, right, to the point that they're friends now. Let him buy in as a minority level, or let his group or whatever buy in as a minority level at some point in time. Come back and kind of boost up Cleveland, retire, own them. And then as you're getting the experience as an owner, then you flip that into a majority owner, kind of like what Jordan did with the Wizards to the Hornets. The one thing LeBron's done is he's had it's twofold. He's had the unfortunate situation to follow Jordan, always be compared to him, but then he's had the fortunate situation of following Jordan and not make as many mistakes as Mike did. And everybody, I've sent Strickland the article about the sale of the Hornets and how it was essentially a backdoor deal between two hedge fund owners. Now, Mike, look, if you ever get fleeced and you get $1.8 billion, I take that, right? Or $1.3 billion after the $500 million. But at the end of the day, when you think of it, though, LeBron is thinking along the lines of Tom Brady. And I think LeBron, and I compare LeBron a little bit to, I think he has a deeper dog in him than people give him credit for. Not like Mike, because I think the dynamics of the NBA was totally different. You had to be an assassin when you came in. That's what Mike did. Mike became the greatest of all time when he started to play more like LeBron. Assassin, differentiate. That's to be debated. So these kids growing up, being the best of all time isn't as important to them, whether you want to talk about it or not. LeBron feels secure where he's at. Now he's trying to do something that's never done before, which it seems like he's doing. He knows that he could go play for Portland. He could go play for Orlando. He's going to be able to score, right? What he's trying to do, if he continues to play, that's why I think he might ask for a trade, is if I go and score, I don't know how much, say he scores 4,000 or 4,000 points in the next 3 years. I'd rather score 500 points playing in a contention in real games with real players that really want to be good, really want to be great. I think when he looks across that locker room, when he won the scoring title and that stuff with Anthony Davis, that's been going on for a while. Yeah. When he looks at Anthony Davis, he looks at a guy, yes, we won a championship, but you have let me down. You know, being 7 foot tall, unique, skill set, and you come in out of shape, then you come in underweight, then you come in, hadn't been picked up a basketball, where you got LeBron up here spending over $1 million or whatever it is to keep himself healthy to play with you. Right. Now I got to play 40-some minutes in a game, and you over there chilling, happy as a cat with some warm milk. He might be friends with you, and Strick, how many guys have you played with, right? You see him at your reunions, Mavericks probably. Is that Mavericks your team, your home team? Yeah. Right. So when you go to Dallas and you see guys in the locker room, it'd be great to see them. You're cool with them, but when you look at him, back when you played, you wasn't selling out what we used to say to them. You weren't giving me all. You were on that funny stuff. That's how I feel LeBron is with AD. He's cool with you, and we could maybe go down to LA,
cordial, yeah.
Right? And we can hang out, but I can't trust.
Hangs out more with Chris Paul and Draymond than he does with AD.
Yeah,
which is
what tells you though. Right. But do you want to hang out with people? They're always saying that high achieving people don't want to be with mediocre type of mindset people.
That's real.
And I think that's what happens with LeBron. I think that's what's happening with him and AD. And that could get to a point to where, especially when you see some of your boys moving, right? Yeah. Chris Paul, Westbrook's not his boy, but him and Damian Lillard are tight. You see some movement. They're making championship moves, and you're sitting here left alone. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's part of the thing that I would say. We're gonna look back at this and have those types of discussions.
It's gonna be interesting next week or so.
That's what's gonna be telling.
I don't mean to cut you off. You see that Wake Forest is essentially taking over here. They must have a fundraising NIL meeting here. So we're gonna go to a break real quick here. Rico back at the station. Hopefully they're done doing their fundraising here at the Blur parties. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Eric Strickland. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Keep your planter. Upgrade your technology with a John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit from Landmark Implement. Choose from ExactEmerge, MaxEmerge 5, or MaxEmerge 5E electric drive row units. Take your planter to the next level. Improve yield potential and profitability without buying new. Get new technology, increased performance, and confidence from your planter that's already in your shed. Contact your local Landmark location to order your John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit and experience the Landmark difference.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly, the perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, Sunday Family Fun Days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Short segment before we turn it over to the show, the big show, College World Series. We got Wake Forest against LSU. We had to go to an early break. Wake Forest was having their rally song. I still don't understand some of these rally songs that they have, but Wake Forest, I think, is out. Their fan base is out in force, having a good time. So we got the game coming up here. So we got to get out of here in about 8 minutes. Strick in Austin.
Jay,
who you guys picking and why? The hometown favorite of LSU against the new kids on the block per se of Wake Forest. The bomb squad, as they're known, they led the nation in home runs, but then they also were top 3 or 4, I think, in doubles. They have really good pitching, underrated. When you hit so many home runs, they don't give you a lot of credit. But LSU is LSU, right? They have a guy that was out there pitching just 100 miles an hour like it was just throwing a wiffle ball in the back, and plus plenty more pitching. Who are you guys picking and why?
I'm going to go with the Bayou Bengals. In the words of Coach O, go Tigers. I gotta pick them just because I trust their top-level talent. I know Schemes through the first game, like you were saying, 46 pitches, 100 miles an hour or faster. That's insane. Right. I'm a big fan of Dylan Cruz. Presumptive number 1 overall pick. He shouldn't fall any further than the first overall pick. Not exactly Wemby, but seems like a pretty no-brainer.
Right.
LSU's been here. I know it's been a while, but it's a program that's been here before, tested in the SEC, obviously. I like Wake Forest. They've been fun. I love their pitching staff. Their offense has really turned it up. But the more that I'm asked to prognosticate and pick outcomes like this, the more I've got an egg on my face when I bet against top-tier talent.
Right.
LSU, I still think across the board is more talented.
Right.
So I got to go Tigers.
Who you got?
Yeah, I like the Tigers in this situation. The Tigers have been there, although Wake Forest have shown to be one of the best teams in the country. But from top to bottom, Wake Forest, they're walking by, just shouting it out.
Trying to tell us to pick their team.
They're excited, but it ain't happening. I think I'm going to go with the Tigers.
You going with the Tigers? I like it. I like what you guys are saying. LSU is they're Omaha's,
their playground.
It's their playground. They're always here. Big look. They have accumulated more Nebraskans as fans, and they came up here and partied and performed well. Finally back. It's like the years that you expect LSU to, last few years when you expect them to be here, they didn't.
Yeah.
Demon Deacons have just came out. I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but it's a really special year. So, I think LSU, has advantage. But, Strick.
There's a big but.
But.
He likes big butts, and he cannot lie.
Double backs. Wake Forest comes in at number one for a reason. They've averaged 9 runs during the regular season, 13 in the playoffs. Okay, 3-0 in 1-run games. So if you want to play small ball, we can win those. Anytime they score over 4 runs, Strick, they are 44-2. Book it here if you're betting. Wake Forest, take it to the house. I know they just allowed sports betting in Nebraska. I don't even bet, but if you want to listen, if you just send me a 10% charge right there, Wake Forest, Demon Deacons, big. I'm going to say by 2 or 3 runs. How you like me now?
I'll sip to that. Good point.
There you go, man. That's I like my little Kool-Aid. Now, also, Strick, we wanted to ask you here. You got some other news going on in sports. Real quick, we got what, Austin? 5 minutes?
Yeah, we'll be out about 35.
All right, we got to be out by 35. They're trying to keep us off of here.
Rico hit the music
Strick,
with a minute. He does. He's a
Let
pro.
me ask you this about Strick. I know you're a golf fan. What'd you think of the U.S. Open? One, everybody criticizing the L.A. Country Club. Look, you got to criticize any country club that they make you wear pants and it's hot out there. And they charge you $250,000 just to get on the scene and all types of stuff. And you can't have a drink past 5. Tell me what you thought about the U.S. Open, the winner, and then also Rory McIlroy with all the pressure, or maybe the pressure relieved, coming in second once again.
Well, that's been a regular for Rory McIlroy.
Right.
Just being one of the guys that has been
king of the B movies. That's what I call him.
Can't get, win some. But some of the big ones just been right there on the verge, just haven't been able to break through. A lot of people were hailing him as probably one of the next Tiger Woods types. But the purse was big, some good money out there.
Right.
Wyndham Clark, don't know much about him.
It's the most British-sounding name for a dude that's from Denver.
But he's from Denver.
Valor Christian.
Went to high school with Christian McCaffrey. Has a really unique story, man. His dad was a professional tennis player. His mom was like a model, Miss New Mexico or something like that. And all three of their children are pretty successful athletes. He came home from college after his first year at Oklahoma State. His mom was sick all the way into like the later forms of cancer, passed away, really affected him, kind of went into depression, almost quit golf, said he was driving home and quit, stopped at home, went up to Oregon. Casey Martin, remember him? He went to Stanford with Tiger Woods, rejuvenated his career. He's a phenomenal athlete that plays golf, and has, really what he had his breakthrough Strick was winning the Wells Fargo in Charlotte against a top tier, pretty much a major,
Wells Fargo's gotten better.
Right.
About
well, it's a major type course,
Yeah.
and the field is always one of the strongest.
Yeah.
I think what he did was, what was interesting, he showed the ability to just take it home. Wasn't pretty. He had some luck where he didn't end up in the rough, and he's ended up to be getting up and down. The up and down, I think, on 16 or 17 to save par was huge. But I think with Rory, this last 2 years has really, did him in. I think the one thing that he has to do, I don't know, and I want to ask you this, your experience in golf and watching a lot of golf, do you think he needs a more experienced caddy because he pretty much lost the U.S. Open because he didn't wait 15 more seconds. The wind gust, he hit into the wind, ended up short on the par 5. And if he would have waited 15 more seconds, most likely with his wedges, he has a realistic chance of getting a birdie putt. Now, he ended up losing by 1. Now, if it was a 5th, but I think experienced caddy might do him some good, even though his caddy and him has won a lot and a lot of money. And let's also not minimize him coming in second, because when you talk about Jack Nicklaus winning 18 majors, guess what they also told? His 19 or so second places in majors. So Rory McIlroy is still a dominant player. I just want to see him have that gene to say, bump it. You don't need the money. So if you know, not to say you give away money, but finishing second or third, is there really a big difference for you? You're trying to win. Go for it. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that approach. I think that's
especially on Sunday with the putter.
Right. That is important. I mean, I know I've been in situations where you kind of get wind gusts, you got changes of the wind, swirling winds, and I'm not a pro.
Right.
But even myself would kind of try to slow play.
Right.
Just a little bit of delay to hope the wind dies down, kind of check to see what we got over the the trees.
Right.
But yeah, that makes a difference. Those little types of things.
That's what it comes down to.
It comes down to
that's what Bill Belichick had talked about. What they talked about he wants smart players on the field, because when you have to make those plays, do you make the check? Hey, the Super Bowl, right? Butler knew that they practiced that play, never practiced it full speed, did it in the walkthrough, came out in that formation, makes the play against the Seattle Seahawks, wins the Super Bowl. You need players that are smart enough to make those plays. And in golf, you have to have some cojones to say, bump it. I'm going to make putts on Sunday, be a little bit more aggressive. But otherwise, it's a good U.S. Open. You too, Strick. I told you happy Father's Day yesterday. Austin, happy pre-Father's Day. Everybody on a Monday at the CWS up here in Omaha. We want to thank the Blur tailgates up here, 12th and Cass. Now we're going to turn it over to the regular program, what everybody wants to really actually listen to is the CWS. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland, Old School. We are out.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/.